Hey everyone, I'm here at SHOT Show 2018 at the Primary Arms booth. I got the lovely Mike Branson with me.
Lovely.
Absolutely. We were able to come out to the range yesterday, shoot a lot of, we shot the Platinum series of the 1 to 8, correct?
1 to 6.
1 to 6, okay.
Oh, the Platinum's the 1 to 8.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. That was my first time actually getting hands-on with the Platinum series, and I get it now. Like, people may wonder why there's such a price difference, but I'm telling you, you get something for that money. But in addition to that, which we're probably going to talk about later, I want to talk about something new that you guys had out there that was the first time I'd seen it, and that's your 1X prism sight. So can you tell me about that?
Here it is, guys. So you can do a lot more with a prism scope than you can with a red dot. We have a red dot with an ACSS reticle in it. It's a good seller for us. We like it. We also notice there's a lot of guys out there that can't make a red dot work for them. They got astigmatism, they see an amoeba, they see stars. I see a comet when I look through a red dot. I just kind of deal with it. If you don't like red dots, you can't make them work for you, or you want a better reticle than a red dot can offer, we've got this. This is a 1X prism scope. So we have a 2.5, we have a 3 power, we have a 5 power prism scope. Now we got a 1 power prism scope. It's an etched reticle, so you can use it. The batteries die. You want illumination off. You want the contrast of a black reticle on a white background. I'm shooting at white targets today instead of black targets. Turn the illumination off, it still works. We've got an ACSS Cyclops reticle in here that gets you bullet drop compensation out to 400 yards. You can also use it with 7.62 by 3.9 and 300 blackout with a little bit of finagling on how you sight it in, right?
Sure.
And it's illuminated as well. It's super crisp. This thing is really fast and forgiving. It's got a 13 millimeter exit pupil, so it just pours light into your eye.
Yeah.
And you got an adjustable ocular here, so you can set this perfect for your eyes to where you don't have that sort of car sick feeling when you look through it. You can run this with both eyes open, just like a red dot, and it's super fast. $239 scope with a lifetime warranty, and it runs standard microdot style mounts. So if you got a favorite, like I like the ADM QD mounts,
Yep.
That's what I'm going to put mine on.
Sure.
Put mine on an ADM QD mount. It'll go right on there.
Yeah, so I really like that they decided to go with an etched reticle and a 1X. I'd never, that may have been a thing before, but I'd never heard of that. I've always seen like the 3X or the 5X prism sights. But what I love about this is, me as someone who likes to leave my optics on, or even if I don't like to, I just forget that I have them on. So like in my 1 to 6s, the batteries die, but I have that etched reticle, so I'll go months without changing the battery because I can still use the optic. With red dots, you haven't really been able to do that, but with this, because that etched reticle is there, even if your batteries die, you still have something to use. So you're not going to have to tear off your optic or whatever and go back to irons. You still can use this even once the batteries die. One thing that's really nice that I'm seeing on these is the turret covers are textured, so you got a really positive grip, and they're captured. So if you take them off, I know so many times I've just left them on like the shooting bench, and then I totally forget about them until the next day, and sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not when I go back. But these are lanyarded on, so when you're doing your adjustments, you don't have to worry about misplacing those caps and then kind of being SOL. And then like you said, you have the bullet drop compensating that'll work with 5.56, and if you kind of do your finagling, understand what you're doing, do it with those other calibers as well, which is a really nice option. So you said, when are these coming to market?
It's supposed to be about Q2, I believe.
Q2? Okay.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Hopefully maybe by the summer, you guys might be able to see these. And again, I think that's a really cool option. And you said, as far as the mount, is it similar to like a T1?
It's a T1 mount.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So mounts are plentiful, like he was saying, the ADM, that's what I have on my advanced microdot. You have a plethora of options, which is really cool.
The other nice thing is, for AK guys, you're going to be able to take this off, and if you're running like an RS Regulate mount that has that really low aim point mount on it, you can drop it really low on an AK right above that top cover, and it's going to be awesome for AK guys.
Absolutely, I can definitely see
If you didn't have a modular mount, that'd be impossible to sit too high.
Yeah, awesome. So speaking of the ADM mount on my advanced microdot, you guys have a new model of your advanced microdots, correct?
Yes, we do. Here's one in flat dark earth. This is MDRB80, microdot removable base advanced. 50,000 hours battery life. This has already been released, actually.
Yep.
So we've sold a lot of these already, and people really like them. It's night vision compatible. We had an issue with the early ones. We were honest about it. It had some night vision compatibility issues. They're actually a little bit too bright. Where if you have one of these that you've already bought and you want to use it with night vision, the night vision settings are a little too bright, send it to us. We'll fix it. We'll repair it right here in Houston. You'll get it back in a week. We're taking care of everybody on that. We're honest about that deal.
That's awesome.
It's a $149 sight with a lifetime warranty, and it's got excellent waterproofing. It's super tough. It's a fully potted emitter. It's a fully supported erector in here. All the internal clicks are stainless steel instead of brass. I mean, they really stepped their game up with this little red dot.
Yeah, and for those of you who may be familiar with the MD80S, the previous advanced microdot, really the main, at least aesthetic difference and really operational difference is instead of having the little push buttons on the top, you have this rheostat on the side here, which, as you said, has the night vision settings. Goes all the way up to 11, as does that 1X prism. And you know, if it goes all the way to 11, it's better.
Why don't we just make it go to 10, and 10 could be brighter?
But this one goes to 11. Another cool thing here too that I'm noticing is, again, you have the textured turret caps, which again makes it really easy to kind of hand snug on there and undo if you're using them. But the little attention to detail here is you have, if I can take this all the way off, on the cap here, I don't know how well that'll show up on camera if I hold it
there
close.
You go.
But it has a little nubbin, for lack of a better word, so you can actually get in there and adjust it yourself. You don't have to get a screwdriver out, you don't have to get a coin out. As soon as you take the cap off, you can get in there, make your adjustments up or down, left or right, throw the cap back on, and you're good to go. As few tools as you need on the firing line, the better, in my opinion.
Since you brought that up, I'll talk to you. We make a lot of little incremental improvements that we don't really talk about, and these are now aluminum instead of plastic. So the old style, you crank it down too much, you over torque it, you can crack it, right? These are aluminum now, and they go down metal to metal against the body with the O-ring inside, instead of squashing down the O-ring and you flatten out the O-ring and everything. So the waterproofing on these is improved. You've got an aluminum cap that goes down metal to metal, so you know when you stop tightening it. Little stuff like that, you can't really make a big deal out of it. We just want to quietly always be improving our product.
Yeah.
You know, every little thing we can change.
Now, if people like the push button, that's still available, correct?
Yes, and a lot of lefties do. A lot of guys, they don't want to take their hand off fire control, you know. They would rather do it this way, up top. Okay, we got that.
Sure,
Yeah,
and
we still offer that.
still 50,000 hour dot.
Absolutely.
And still T1H1 mount compatible, right?
Yes, that's right.
So again, plethora of options. There's no want for aftermarket accessory mounts that'll work with this thing. Or as you said, getting those low profile mounts on AKs, you know, Midwest Industries, RS Regulate, all those. Really awesome. So what else do you have for us today?
All right, I want to show everybody the one that you shot yesterday. He can testify. We've had this scope body in a second focal plane unit for a couple of years now. This is the first time we've been able to convert it on the inside to a first focal plane configuration. So at 1x, at 1 power, the reticle shrinks down and it becomes sort of like the old Trigicon Donut of Doom reticle. Super fast. You can use both eyes open like a red dot, and look, it's really quick to acquire. But then you crank it up to 6x and the reticle grows. And at 6 power, you have all of the ACSS features that you're used to. You got your range estimation, your bullet drop compensation, your wind leads, your moving target leads. All of that stuff is still there. And now because it's first focal, it works at any magnification.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have it at max power for that stuff to work. But I think the big advantage is that you have all those features at full power if you want them, or you can crank it down and have it be super duper fast.
Yeah.
Guys, the glass in this is amazing, and I got to crow to you. At range day yesterday, we had over 100 shooters. We threw over 1,000 rounds downrange. Every shooter connected at 500 yards, every single one.
Yeah.
This is a $399 scope, $399 with lifetime warranty, and we were slinging them in at 500 yards yesterday.
Yeah, it was
so happy.
It felt like cheating. It just the ACSS reticles make it super easy. Mind if I take a look?
Yeah.
So
there you are at 1x.
One thing that
Crank this up to about 7 or 8 in here.
All right.
Try that out.
So the one thing that I've always been hesitant about when it comes to like the 1 to 6s, 1 to 4s, 1 to 8s with the first focal plane is when I'm at 1x, like you were saying, it shrinks down at 1x, and with the other reticles, it becomes so small you can't even use it, and it's hard to pick up. Even if it's illuminated, it can take a while to find it. But because of the design of this reticle, because it's got that kind of big horseshoe,
the chevron, horseshoe,
yeah, because you got that big loop, even once it's at 1 power, especially when you have it illuminated, but even when it's not, you still have a nice big ring that pops up for you that doesn't get in the way once you do bump up to 6 power. It's still extremely usable. And then like you said, whether you're at 4 power, 6 power, 3 power, anything in between, you can still use that ACSS reticle and range out. So let's say you don't want to be at 6 power because you want a little bit more field of view or whatever else. Now you can still use that ACSS reticle without having to worry about, you know, what magnification you're on. So that's a really cool thing. And again, because of the way the reticle is designed, it's still effective and still fast at the 1 power, which is something that has kind of been lacking from what I've seen on the market.
These are $399, lifetime warranty. They'll be in black, they'll be in wolf gray, and they're going to be in flat dark earth. And this one is in 762x39 and 300 blackout for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll have them in multiple calibers.
Now, does it still do the different bullet drop compensating for supers and subs?
Yes, it does.
Again, a lot of people who watch my channel are 300 blackout shooters. There's another brand that people always mention when it comes to variable power optics like this one. I'm telling you, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, and I'll keep saying it. This reticle is your friend compared to anything else on the market, especially for you guys who go from supers to subs, because you have that different bullet drop compensation for whatever velocity bullet you're shooting.
With supersonics, you're going to get out to 600 yards with this reticle. With the subs, I'll tell you straight up, it's going to drop right out of the reticle at about 225 yards.
Yeah.
But you're basically shooting like a 45 ACP. You know, you're lobbing it in there. But you know, most guys shooting 300 subs don't dream of going past 150 yards with it, right?
That's not what it's for.
I saw your video. I saw you sling them in there. It can be done.
It can be.
The reticle shows you how.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, again, it probably sounds like I'm a paid spokesperson at this point, but the reticle just does all the work for you. All you got to do is get it zeroed at whatever distance for the reticle and whatever type of ammo you're shooting, and then you just let the reticle do the work for you. You just do the holdovers for the winds. We had a lot of wind yesterday out in the desert in Las Vegas.
We were using those wind dots, baby.
And I did the holdover that I had to for the wind, and again, 500 yards, no issue whatsoever.
That was so much fun.
It's like cheating. It's just, I don't know. You got to experience it. If you haven't tried one, you need to experience it because there's really nothing else like it that I've ever shot. So, anything else you wanted to show us today?
No, that'll work for today.
Awesome.
Man, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good to see you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Again, guys, I own, I think, 8 primary arms optics at this point. I have thousands and thousands of rounds through them. I have zero hesitation trusting my life to them. In fact, the rifle that I drove down with had my primary arms 1-6 on it. I have zero hesitation putting them on a go-to-war gun. I've tested them through classes in rain, snow, sun, on 308s, super heavy recoiling C308, HK91 style.
That thing's a beast.
I've shot them on a Caltech KSG, ARs, 300 blackout, 7.62x39, everything. I can't kill one, and I don't expect it to. And even if I did, you guys are doing the lifetime warranty now. So
we'll take care of you.
There's no reason to go anywhere else, in my opinion. But again, you guys can do with that information what you will. I can only lead a horse to water. I can't force you guys to drink. But thanks again for talking to us. If people want to see your product line, where can they go?
Go to primaryarmsoptics.com, and we've got the entire line. All the prices are there, everything, all the new stuff that you haven't seen yet. There's a bunch of stuff that we didn't talk about. We got a 3-18. It's super cool. So yeah, it's all on primaryarmsoptics.com.
Yeah, and definitely follow him on Instagram too. I'll have the links below.
Yeah.
Dimitri over there, the guy he designs the reticles.
That's right. He was out there yesterday with us.
He is constantly posting videos, explaining to people, answering questions about how to use the reticles. I mean, again, they take care of the people who use their products. So again, I'll have all the links below. Thank you very much for talking to us and showing us the stuff.
OreGear rules, always. Man.
Hey,
it's awesome.
I appreciate it. Obviously, I'm going to be showing a lot more from SHOT Show, but I'll also have links below to the reviews I've done so far of the primary arm stuff. Again, really, really great stuff. Thanks for talking to us, and stay tuned for more coverage of SHOT Show 2018.
Yeah, all right. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
So here's the game we've been playing. You see the two squares, the white squares?
Yep.
There's a single torso on the right.
Yep.
He's at 100. He's child's play. but over his head, slightly to the right, is one at 5, and that's the one we've been talking guys onto.
Okay.
So, you're used to ACSS, so it's a left to right wind.
Okay.
So you want to hold on at the 500-yard BDC. If the wind's dead a little bit, if it dies a little bit, hold to like the end of the bar on the right a little bit, where you're holding off to the left. It's going to push this way. If the wind kicks up a little bit, use that first dot, and that's going to get you right about there.
Okay.
Did they talk you up about the scope?
A little bit, yeah. I'm going to get more of the details on the show floor. I was asking them mostly because all of my experiences with the entry level optics, so I was wondering just some of the more of the differences other than obviously light transmission, target turrets, just kind of what some of the differences are between this and the platinum series and the ones I'm used to.
Hold your sunglasses down and just look through it without the sunglasses for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it.
Come back to 1. Just look how nice that is.
It's so clear.
I mean, you know where your money went.
Oh yeah. Well, and
I don't have one. I want one, but it's like there's no question about where the money goes.
Right. Well, the nice thing is when it comes to like first focal plane, I've never been big on first focal plane in like the 1 to 6 with the 8. But because you have that big outer ring, it's still fast on power, which is nice.
It's just a fine crosshair. You can't find it.
Right.
I hate that.
Yeah.
All right. You'll be able to spot your own at 100. Let me know when you switch to 5. Sure.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just try out the 5.
Go for it. I got eyes on.
All right.
Oh, just over his shoulder.
Just over the shoulder?
That same hold. Okay, come down to the hair because you hit the same. I think that's a hit because I didn't see it. Yeah, you got it now.
So
you're on. You're dead on.
And then, like say, the platinum series being and this is
I think I pulled that one.
this right here is
Oh, just a little bit to the right.
this is a new
There you are. Yep, got it.
It's not even fair.
everybody likes those color matches. Super popular right now. But I really like it. It's kind of cool. Here.
Awesome.
Yeah, you got it nailed. That's the difference between a guy who shot ACSS before. There's been a lot of guys that I've like use the dot because they want, you know, they're so used to everything being dead center. No, use the dot. It's okay. It's
there for you.
And you're like, I'm like teaching them what a holdover is.
Right.
You know, with you, I was like, come left a little bit. And they're just,
Yeah.
you know,
Wing. Yeah. Awesome.
yeah.
You're like 5 yards out.